talk about the emotion of how we will feel when we have the thing we intend.
Three things that I'm grateful for, and then I have like a whole list of like little things that I can look at while I'm at work.
If you're longing for something, you feel like you're in scarcity, you want this thing out there, you're not going to get it because you're not a match for it, right? So an intent is different than a desire.
Hello, welcome to Scrubs Unzipped, unveiling healthcare's hidden passions. So today I have with me a very special guest. I just let her tell you what she does so that we could get started and hopefully blow your mind.
Thank you so much, Annmarie, for having me. I am Rebecca Blessed. I am the founder of Freedom for Life. I'm also internationally best-selling author of a book called Ignite Happiness. I also have a book, Your Manifestation Journal. And what I do is I help people um, consciously create so that they are actually creating what they want instead of what their programming is. And I do that through a variety of modalities. And people really end up feeling that they have a life that feels free and a purpose that is something that they truly want and love.
That is so awesome. So to clarify, I met Rebecca on Facebook and I had a
Mhm.
post that says like who has done vision boards and how have they come to pass to reality? So I was just like wondering because I just now started. Well, I've done vision boards before, but I bet like this time is like much different. Like the intention behind it was much better, and like things are already come to pass, and I'm only like created the board like 2 weeks ago. So I was just wanted to know like the science and like the thinking behind vision boards. So can you explain what a vision board is and how it typically functions as a motivational tool?
Yeah, absolutely. So vision boards have been around for decades, right? A long time. And basically, people use them to create goals for the year and or maybe 3 years and 5 years. And it's a way to create a path for yourself, right? So if you don't have a direction, you'll end up somewhere you did not expect to be, right? 2 years will go by, 5 years will go by, and you'll be looking around and you'll be like, how did I get here? So vision boards are really a great way to create a direction that you want to go in areas of your life, right? And there's the main areas: your finances, your relationships, your job or career, and your health, right? Those are the main ones that you can set an intent for. And a lot of people I find have vision boards that don't actually create anything. So they spend this time creating these vision boards, they get to the end of the year and nothing happened. Nothing came to pass, right? But like you, Anne-Marie, you said that you've already seen some of your stuff happening.
Yeah, so
That
how is that so? Like how like what's the difference like between like the intention you set for your vision board?
Okay, so one of the main things is this: the way that um consciously creating works or manifestation, however you want to call it, is the intent behind it. So if you're longing for something, you feel like you're in scarcity, you want this thing out there, you're not going to get it because you're not a match for it, right? So an intent is different than a desire. So a desire is something that you are reaching, grasping for. An intent is like a knowing. This is my intent. This is what I'm going to have. Not this is something I want or this is something I desire, but this is something I intend. Those are two different ways of being. So when I teach vision boards, one of the things that we do is we talk about the emotion of how we will feel when we have the thing we intend. Okay. So if you had the finances that you wanted, how would you feel with it? And then with the vision boards, we use words or pictures that depict the feeling we will have when we've arrived. So that is one of the ways to be more effective with your vision board is to really be in the emotion of how you will feel when you have it.
Okay, that is juicy stuff. Because the reason I asked to have you on is because I hear so many healthcare workers, nurses, respiratory therapists saying, like, I just feel stuck. I'm burnt out. Like, I'm just so frustrated. Like, I don't like this where I am right now. And I just want
Yeah,
a
it's
way out.
really
Yeah, they're saying I want a way out and they don't know how to do that. And I was saying, like, creating a vision board could be like the way out. Like, can you like go more in depth into that?
yeah, absolutely. So, many people feel stuck, and especially in
Yeah.
like the healthcare, the hours, the emotional stress, the mental stress, and the thing with um, the thing with reality is it whatever your strong emotions are is what you are creating, right? So you almost have to ignore what's in front of you and choose higher emotions to get where you want. And there's a lot of science behind not only like the quantum field and all the science behind that, but also like psychology of how your brain works. And I'm going to throw out a big word. It's called
Okay.
reticular activation. And what it is your brain will literally only see or hear what is part of your programming or part of your life. So if you're often, like most of the day, in what I call, the a stressed out mode where like things are happening to you and it's just not going well, and the job, the coworkers, the partner, the kids, life, then that is all that your brain will see. And it actually will pass up opportunities. You will not even see them. You won't see opportunities for something different or something that feels better. So one of the practices that I do when I coach people that goes along with the vision board is to raise your emotional vibration, right? And there are three easy ways to do it. Gratitude has been research proven to raise your positivity state better than anything else you can do. And that is just really finding anything to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful that I have a warm cup of coffee. I'm grateful that I have a car that I can get to work in. I'm grateful that my family is healthy. I'm grateful that I have this cat here that I can pet that calms me down. I'm grateful for my friend that, brought me, coffee this morning. So just really practicing gratitude so that you can start switching, from that stressed out mode to finding little glitters of happiness throughout the day. And then another one is savoring. So we really work on savoring, which is, and this in the beginning, people have to almost put it into their phone. An alarm has to go off until they get into the habit, which is just really getting present in your body. Because when we are stressed out and anxious, we are not in our body. We are in our head, and we're either in the past, you know, thinking about, guilty about, stressed about, or in the future, worrying about, anxious about. We're not in the present. So to get into your body, you think about like, what am I feeling right now? Like what do I feel in my hands, my legs, what am I feeling in my body? What do I hear? What am I smelling? What do I taste? And so that pulls you into your body. And then think of one thing in that moment that you can be grateful for. And it could just be like, wow, look at those pretty flowers on the side in that of the road in someone's yard. Those are really like gorgeous. Something like that, right? And so we have gratitude, we have savoring, and then the other thing is, and this is just training our brain, I call it the positive branches. It's something that I've created. And all of us have something or someone that just really stresses us out, right? Or annoys us. And we have a reaction to that. They say something, we have these thoughts, we have these emotions, then we have these actions. And the positive branches is choosing, if we can, uh, to be neutral or positive, possibly. And in the beginning, this is usually a reflective exercise. So at the end of the day, you think back to that person or that event, and you're like, okay, this happened. This is how I felt. What is something, a thought or an emotion I could reach for that's not negative? And that's just training your brain to get on the positive branches, because the more we're in the negative, the stressed out, the anxiousness, the more we create that, the more that our brain sees that, the more that we draw that to us. So those are like 3 easy tools that I use that can quickly start getting people more on the positive track than the negative track. And then you start seeing more of what you want in your life versus what you don't want.
Wow, that is so amazing because I've actually done the gratitude. I have like three, I have it on my badge so that I can remember. It's like wellness tips on my badge. So I have like get moving. I have three things that I'm grateful for, and then I have like a whole list of like little things that I can look at while I'm at work so I can like ground myself. And that's just so important because we just need to take at least 60 seconds, 60 seconds, not that long, to say, like, I'm grateful that I have a car to get to work. I'm grateful that I have food, that I can eat lunch and nourish my body. It's just the simple things because I believe that if you're not grateful for where you are right now, then how can the world, how can the universe, how can your higher power bring you more things where you're not even grateful for the things you have already? So if you want to attain more, you have to be grateful for the things you already have so that you can actually get more. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works. And a lot of us get into, because of life circumstances, into like a negativity habit. I'll call it a habit, right? And we don't even realize that we're in it. Matter of fact, research has shown that 95% of the day we're in our subconscious mind. It literally is a thought, emotion, action, habit, and only 5% of the day are we conscious, which is also why like vision boards and like affirmations don't work. Because like if you took the minutes that you're spending on it or looking at it and divide it by all, the time that you're awake, it's less than 5%, right? And that's only the percent that you're aware of. So you have to work in the 95% that's subconscious. And you do that like by gratitude, right? By savoring, by the positive branches, so that you are training yourself, your subconscious self, to start looking for things to be grateful for, to start like looking for things that you can savor, to start like, oh yeah, this person that annoys me. I know it's going to happen because they do it every single day. And I am going to be prepared to at least, reach for a neutral feeling or find something positive in this situation, right? It's retraining that subconscious mind, because that's the one that's creating your reality, not the 5% of that you're aware of. It's the 95% that's running in the background.
So, how did you first become passionate about vision boards and how have they transformed your life or the lives of those you've worked with?
That is a great question. I've done vision boards for a very long time. I was back in the day a scrapbooker, and that kind of all went together. But over the years with my training and education, I have changed the way that I do vision boards so that we're including like emotion with it. So the emotion of how we're going to feel and the intent. And I have worked with hundreds of people, hundreds, and the results have been amazing. And I'll give a few examples. One of the ladies that I worked with had an estranged relationship with her daughter. She was in her 70s, and the relationship had been bad for decades, to the point where her daughter had blocked her on everything. Like, she did not even have a way of contacting her daughter. And so instead of working in like the physical realm where trying to somehow, you know, talk to our daughter or something. We worked with just the emotion. And so she had a vision or an intent of what it would look like to have a great relationship with her daughter and the emotions that she would feel. And every day she would look at the vision and practice the emotions in her head and sending loving, kind, amazing thoughts towards her daughter instead of the ones that she was, which is like scarcity, clinging, guilt, maybe, even some anger about how she felt she was treated. And she switched her thoughts. And within, I think it was 2 weeks, her daughter called her to tell her that she
Oh,
loved her. And
oh, wow.
then they were able to start creating a relationship again. 2 years later, her daughter bought her a home in Florida so that she could live by her, so that her mother could live by her. And that was
Wow.
after like 40 years of not talking. I mean, like things like that. It's because you're changing the energetics that are going out. And it can be miraculous, and it can be really quick when you do it that way.
Wow. That is definitely a great, great story. So I'm curious, how has vision boards helped you, like personally, in your life?
Um, in all aspects of my life, I am very blessed in everything. So I have amazing relationships with my two grown daughters. I am in a situation that I've created very easily, where I'm financially free. I get to do whatever I want, whatever feels fun, whatever feels aligned. If it doesn't feel fun, it doesn't feel aligned, it doesn't excite me, I don't have to do it. I'm older, way older than I look. You'd be surprised at my age. And so my health is exactly where I want it. Um, and it's all through these practices that I use that I've shared with you, the gratitude, the savoring, setting the intent of what I want. And then also there's action. So I do want to say that. So you can't just like intend, like, let's, say, for example, I want to be healthy and I have this intention of a picture of it. I know how it's going to feel to be healthy, and then not take any action. So there is like, you have to pair the intent and the emotion with the action. And what will happen is when you set this intent and you know how it's going to feel, doors will start opening for you. And the old you wouldn't have even seen these opportunities, wouldn't even have seen these doors opening. The new you, the one that is in gratitude, the one that's choosing the positive branches, the one that's savoring, will notice it. It'll be like, oh, here's this opportunity. Maybe, to go walking with your friend if it's, something with health. Maybe it's like, someone's like started this new way of eating and they want to share it with you, and you actually enjoy it. It could be anything. And what you'll notice is that doors are opening and you're aware of them and you're aware of the blessings that are coming in, because they're always coming in. We are meant to have abundance. We are meant to live with joy and contentment, but we have um, created a system or a culture where we block it all. We block it in our culture and in our system, and so we keep we keep ourselves from receiving it.
So you did touch on this a little bit, and you said that you need to have action. So I'm sure there might be skeptics out there who view vision boards as just collages and wishful thinking. So how do you address the skepticism, especially in a field as pragmatic as healthcare?
Yeah, absolutely. So, um, it really is like doing is believing, right? And I would recommend this to anyone, especially if you're skeptical. Choose something that you would like to see, just one thing, because also if you're working on a lot of things at once, it's difficult. So just choose one thing in your life that you would like to see different, and maybe it's a relationship. Just choose a relationship. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's your child, your partner. And instead of what you've been doing, because it's creating more of what you don't want, really focus as much as you can. Maybe it's just at night and in the morning, two times. Sending positive, kind, loving energy, and visualizing what it would feel like if that relationship was amazing. And
Mm.
write down the date that you start doing this. Hold yourself accountable. So maybe on your phone, like put a little heart when you've and the time when you've sent like loving thoughts so that you can see it. And then after 2 weeks, note the difference. And then once you have proof, because you will see proof, then you can do it with something else.
Wow, that is so cool. I'm gonna try that because I'm doing a lot of things at one time. And the one
Yeah,
thing
start with
that
just one.
I know, choosing one thing. The thing that you said was you have to picture how you feel. Like most people don't know like all of the feelings that we can feel. Like we can feel angry, we can feel sad. There's like 50 other kinds of feelings. So how does someone get in touch with their feelings to actually feel the desire that they want and intend?
Yeah, because you do have to embody the feeling. So when you're setting the intent or the vision board, you have to embody the feeling of having it. Otherwise, you're always reaching for it. So let's say we'll use, it's easy, a person. So you have, I don't know, we'll say it's a child, right? And you would like to have the feeling of with the child of like ease, right? The relationship is easy when you ask them to do their homework, they're doing their homework or whatever, and you want it to feel easy. You know what easy feels like, right? You've a day, like just think of a time in your life where a thing that day felt easy. Maybe you're like at the beach, by the lake, the whole day just flows. It's so easy. You don't really have responsibilities, nothing that you have to do at a certain time, like that feeling, right? That's the feeling that you want with this relationship. And so you embody it. So you find a time in the past to have the feeling of what it was that you want in the future. And when you're visualizing, when you set that intent, you also have the emotion and as many details as you can of how it looks. So not only do you create your vision board, right, and you have pictures of what you want and how it will feel. It's very important to get the feeling in there because emotion is what creates the reality. The emotion that is tied to the thought. So the thought would be the picture of what you want. The emotion tied to the thought creates the reality. And then visualizing it during the day, and the emotion of how you feel, of how you when it's there. Like the lady that I worked with, right? Her emotions that she had prior were anxiousness and stress and guilt and anger, and this clashing with the daughter that kept them separate as soon as she changed her emotion, because what she wanted was loving and kind and happiness and connection. That's how she wanted it to feel. When she started sending that instead of the other feelings, it happened.
So, how often should one revisit or update their vision board, especially when they encounter shifts or changes in their professional or personal lives?
I just do a vision board once a year, and then at the end of the year, I look and see, everything that transpired, and usually it's everything. Um, but and if maybe you're like really quick at consciously creating and like boom, you have your thing, you can definitely then, you know go back and add to it. Now it's important. I have my vision board, um, and well, it's either in my office. This year, it's in my bedroom. So when I wake up, it's right there on the wall. I'm looking right at it, but somewhere that you're looking at it daily. So it needs to be somewhere where you're looking at it daily for sure. And it's in because you're that subconscious mind, right? We need your eyes to see it so it seeps into the subconscious mind. So you can't just like make it and then put it away. Like it needs to be something that you're looking at, even if you're not like consciously looking at it, but your eyes see it because your brain is going to absorb it. Our subconscious brain absorbs 11 million bits of information per second, and your conscious brain only is aware of 50. 11 million down to 50,
Oh,
right? So even if you're not consciously aware of it, your subconscious brain is ingesting that vision board. So you do want to be looking at it daily. And also, if you're like tech savvy, you can create like a slide on your computer that it slides through, or on your phone you could have it, create a little collage on your phone, so that when you're opening, like I have my girls, right, but you could like have a collage of your vision board, and so every time you pick up your phone, your subconscious mind is getting in there into your subconscious mind, before you like type in your code and get in. So there's different ways that you can do it. If you don't want to put it up on a wall, you can put it, on your phone or on your computer screen.
that is so interesting. And a question that I had when you were speaking is, so if 95% is like our subconscious, like how do we deal with the information that is constantly like looking for our attention, like Netflix and all of the social media and all of the TV shows? Like, is there a way to like block that out without like
Mhm.
being under a rock? Like, how do you like cipher all of that, the things that you don't want?
Yeah, that is a great question. So like I said, our subconscious mind is processing 11 million bits of information per second. And it's deleting stuff too. Stuff is just like right? And then you're aware of 50. So I am very careful about what I allow my body and my brain and my emotions to ingest. And I've always been like that, even before I understood energy and emotions and the way everything works. I naturally was inclined to that. So I am very picky on what I listen to, the music I listen to, the shows that I watch, even the media, the information that I choose to read, because it does affect you. Even though you don't think it is getting into your subconscious and it is affecting you. So, and especially if you are struggling with anxiety, and which a lot of us are, most of us are, even some depression, some, you know, um, a lot of negative emotions, you can start by cleaning up what you allow in, like what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to. Yeah, and I would like
That
recommend, like even on the way to work, you go to YouTube and get maybe some like meditation music that you're listening to on the way to work, or um, something that is uplifting and upbeat. And then same thing with the movies that you're choosing to watch, or the TV that you're choosing to watch, and definitely what you're choosing to read.
hmm, that is so cool.
It's an emotional diet, right? It's, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
getting rid of the like mental diet, and upping the good stuff.
Yeah, because we don't really like realize how information bring his into our subconscious. And like sometimes like I'll be having dreams about something I watched. I'm like, I watched that like 10 years ago and I'm not having a dream about it. So yeah, we definitely
Yeah,
have to
it's
watch what we definitely have to like pay attention to
you
what we
get
watch.
you can get programmed. Your subconscious mind can be programmed. A matter of fact, before the age of 8, we're in the theta brainwave mostly, and so that's where all of our, you can call it programming or conditioning, happens before the age of 8, right? So we ingest all this stuff about our beliefs about finances, health, relationships, purpose, the way the world works. And it's all before the age of 8, and because your brain is in the theta brainwave, because it has to learn you have to learn how to eat, how to talk, how to walk in the Western world, how to read, how to write, how to fit into your family, into your society. So you literally, it's like you're in a hypnotic state. It's the theta brainwave. And so
Mhm.
that's all in your subconscious, and that's what's running your life. And so one of the ways, like we talked about, combating that is to set an intent. This is the direction I want to go, regardless of, where you came from, and then really keeping your emotions higher, in a higher level, with gratitude and savoring and choosing the positive branches, so that when opportunities come, you will be aware of them and you can take action towards them. And also, if you want to know what you believe, and this is, we're off the track of vision boards, but spend some time around your family and see what your parents and your siblings say in the areas of relationships, finance, like how the world works, purpose, and health. And that you did not escape that. It is in your subconscious at some level.
Yeah, we definitely are influenced by the people who are closest to us. And sometimes we just have to
Right?
we have to look at the time, how much we spend with people, and make sure that we are conscious in our feelings are our feelings, not someone else's feelings that have been put on us.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
want I wanted to ask you, like, this is like an off the wall question. If you had to create a vision board using only 3 items you could find in a typical healthcare setting, what would those items be and why?
That is a difficult question.
So you have like heart monitors, you have hospital beds, you have the
Yeah, 'cause I wanna,
intercom.
like what I just taught, I'd wanna embody the emotion, right? And so I'm thinking, like,
Mhm.
what would show the emotion of what I'd want?
We have pens, we
Guess have
have
there's
needles.
magazines.
Yep, we have
Why
magazines.
not?
Yeah, there's magazines.
Not
There's
needles.
mag there's
Um,
magazines.
yeah, I probably would go to, like, to the reception area for the magazines and look for, like, pictures of things that embody the feeling that I want.
Mhm.
And then also there's, it depends on what is in the break room as well. Hopefully there's some positivity, some signs. What I might go for too is like the coffee,
Okay.
like a coffee mug or something. Um, Uh, Coffee reminds, for sure, coffee would probably one of them in the break room, the coffee mug, because coffee for me brings me so much joy. It's my little bit of happiness every morning. And I drink just a cup, and I'm usually sitting outside in the sunshine, with my cat. So for me, that gives me the emotion of ease and joy and happiness and freedom. So I'd say, yeah, that would definitely be one I'd go for.
That is so awesome. Because when you were thinking, I was thinking, like, if I could create one, I would probably use, like, the defibrillator because, like, I want to, like, shock myself into reality. Because sometimes I zone out, like, so much that I'm just, like, in a trance sometimes. So, like, sometimes I just need to be shocked into the present. So that's one
Yes, that sounds
thing.
scary.
Just a little reminder, stay in the present. So thank you so much, Rebecca. Is there anything you want to leave with the audience as we end this episode?
Yes, what I would say is this. Your emotions are very, very important. And if you can use gratitude and use savoring to raise your emotional state as much during the day as you can, you will see a change in your life. You will. Um, and Yeah, because emotions are basically, it's the driver of what's creating our reality is our emotions. Our thoughts are first, then you have the emotion, and in between the emotion is the action. If you can change that emotion, then everything after gets to change.
I can't help but look at your in your background. You have positive thinking revolution. What does that
With
mean? What
love.
with love? Yeah,
So
revolution and
positive
love.
thinking, yeah, so that was the first, that was the name of the business that I opened to begin with, and I actually have a lot of, a Facebook group and Instagram, but my business is Freedom for Life. So that was, yeah, positive thinking revolution because
I love
and
that.
positive thinking isn't like fake positivity. It's not like, oh, everything is great. It's what it means is raising your resting positive state through different practices because happiness is a chemical, right? So you have happy chemicals that get released and they last an hour to a few days, and then you have negative chemicals, right? And then you have your resting positive state. So you're like this. And some people are born with their resting state really low and some people high, right? But you can, just like a muscle, you can grow it. And so positive thinking is about raising that resting positivity state so that you can bounce back up to here. And of course, it's a love revolution.
Awesome. That's so cool. So how can the audience get in contact with you? Like, do you have resources or courses, or how can we support you?
Yeah. Freedom for Life Inc. Inc. Like incorporation. Freedomforlifeinc.com is my website. You can find it on Facebook. Also, if you type in your manifestation journal in Amazon, I have created a journal where the things I talked about, you can actually track. It explains it. And also how to set your intent. There's a whole process for setting your intent, writing it out. Then you can um, you know, hold yourself accountable by seeing if you're doing the savoring and positive branches. And then there's a section for just journaling, and it will last you for the whole year. It's made to last for an
Oh,
entire year
that
so that
is
you can actually
so
make your vision
awesome.
board come true.
Awesome. I'm so excited for the people that are going to listen to this episode. And I just can't wait for all the transformations to happen because one thing I know that's on my vision board, like I really want to make a difference and I want to like use my resources and tools to help other people because I feel like the things that I've been through will not go in vain if I share it so that people know because there's a lot of information out there, but there's just needs to
Anne
be
Marie,
like
I
true
lost you. I
information, like
don't hear you.
life changing, transformational information, not just like the fluff. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for making this an amazing episode. Like I'm gonna listen on my own. I'm gonna listen to my own podcast episode because it's such good information. It's really good
Thank you for having
information.
me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
So
having me, Anne.
you are so welcome. So I'm going to close out this episode and thank you for listening to Scrubs Unzipped, where we unzip the stories behind the scrubs. Tune in next time. See you later.